And on behalf of all of your colleagues here at the District Attorney's Office, we'd like to present to you the Brian L. Hintz Memorial Prosecutor of the Year Award. Congratulations.
So I've never done this before, and I don't think I have a problem with anybody hearing me. But where's Scott at? Because he told me I better not cry, but I'll have some tissues. This is truly, truly an honor. And Ham, it's wonderful to see you here and to know you and your family all of these years. You know, the Brian Hintz Award, you walk out of the elevators and you see it there, and you see all the other ones, but you know, I was reminded today by Rob Gold and what he said, and he gave me a card and it had a green jacket. And I'm going off script, but you know, I saw the green jacket with our logo on it, and I was telling my husband when Tiger Woods got his green jacket, and I said, you know, that's kind of how I feel, because not everybody gets one of these. You know, it doesn't happen all the time, and so it's just such an honor, and it's just doubly so because I knew Brian. And we came up together, and someone had said, and I think it was Anne Marie that got me thinking, like, you know, I didn't really know him. And I first met Brian when I was a process server, and he was an intern. And at that time, you were on the second floor, and you had aluminum desks, and process servers faced each other, and I'm sitting down, and I feel somebody standing next to me. And I look up, and here's this 6'3" kind of God-looking dude, and I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I heard you got a ski boat, and I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, I ski, so you know, maybe we should go skiing. And I was like, yeah, sure. And as he walked away, I looked at him and I said, there is no way I am going out in my bathing suit with that guy. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. And we never did. We never did. But what we did do is we got to become very good friends. And I got to know about Brian. And I got to know that he used to be a part-time deputy sheriff. And I got to know that he was an avid skier, and not just snow skiing or water skiing, but snow skiing as well. And I got to know about all those things that we describe about Brian, about his enthusiasm and that positive, just good personality. You felt good when you were around him, and how he cared about different people. And you know, the thing that I admire about a lot of people is when you can get around people and not say bad things about people, when it's all positive. And Brian was that kind of guy. I would never hear him disparage or say anything bad about somebody. Maybe once in a while there's a, you know, you get a mulligan on the defense attorney you're in trial with. But you know, he wasn't like that. And he just cared about people. He was a team person. And I remember one time when we had to, our secretary, Miss Linda May, she had some issues at home and we were concerned. And Brian and a couple of others, you know, took it upon themselves to help move her. And he and Lisa Burrow stayed with her just to make sure she was safe. Because that's kind of who he was. That's the kind of guy Brian was. And he was a guy who loved trial. And back then we didn't have computers and we didn't have all that. All we had was paper. And he was not a fan of that. And Brian used to say, look, look. Because of course, as he said, and Paul used to say, Nat, you used to be really, really good at poking the bear. Because it was fun. And he used to say, why don't you guys just do all this paperwork? Just give me the file and let me go to trial. Because that's what I want to do. And that's the kind of guy he was. And he's the kind of person that we should not forget about. The kind of person that 15, 20, 30 years from now, when Ham's not here and I'm not here, and those of us like Paul who aren't here, that we have to remember and appreciate those types of lawyers that are here. Just recently, I also heard Anne Marie talk about, and talk to other people about, what is it about this office, and what was your most memorable thing about this office, the most memorable experience. And you know, I thought about it a long time ago, and then it made me think about it again. And mine was when I got my badge. Because I thought at that time, especially because I was younger, and I thought at that time, you know, anybody can get married, anybody can have kids, but not anybody can get one of these. Not anyone, not everyone can be a DA. And that meant so much to me, because that badge symbolized to me that perseverance, tenacity, it prevails. And for me, I began my journey as a DA when I was about 13, and my mom said with a mouth like mine, I should be a lawyer. Now, it was probably on my way to my room, or after I was on restriction, or on my way, but I said, I'm gonna do that. And I didn't know what that meant in terms of process. I didn't know any lawyers, or even anyone that went to college, but I just knew I was gonna do that. And so I began my journey. And I thought, you know what? I want to be a defense attorney. Don't hold it against me. It's okay. Because I saw a lot of people I knew that probably needed one. People that were involved in the system. But as I got a little bit older, I saw that it was my folks that were being victimized. People that were involved as a result of drugs. People that were impacted by violence, gratuitous violence. And I knew that it was more important for there to be a face that looked like them when they came into this office. For them to feel like they were going to be helped and served in our community. And so that's what I did. And I worked full-time and went to school full-time. And it was a struggle on many occasions because I didn't know the pathways. I didn't know, like many of us may know now, how, and that there is an SAT test that you even have to take, or how to get financial aid, or all of those types of things that may come simple to some folks. Didn't know about those things, but we just moved forward. And just recently I started thinking about that, and I would think about it when I talk to kids and kind of like, you know, here I am, this happened. It wasn't always easy, and you can do it too. But the more I thought about it, and the more I saw people out there, it was something more than that. It was family. It was my mom and my dad who taught me about commitment, and family, and community, and a ferocity for standing up for the right thing. It was those things that were more important. And for me, it's you that made this possible. I love you, and I thank you. And I had my sisters. And there's a saying, and my sister sent it to me a long time ago, but I kept it. By the way, my father's Gilbert Luna. He's a retired battalion chief, and he lives in Oak Park, right next to Shiloh Arms. She started at one point as the secretary of the Mexican American Alcoholism Program. Worked really hard, went all the way to the director, and ultimately retired from SHRA. But there's a saying, and it says, and it's on my wall, and it says, if you mess with the big sister, there's always a younger, crazier sister behind her that you don't want to mess with. That's the Luna girls. There's 4 of us. And they've always been my saving grace, because they're the ones who stand beside me, stand up for me, and are always there behind me. In about 1992, I went to CNOA. Everybody know what CNOA is? Narcotics Officers Association seminar. Good time. Back in 1992, it was even better. And I said, I had some friends going, like Jimmy Cooper, Kelly, Judge Fall when she was a DA. I said, I'm going to Anaheim. I'm going to, and someone's going to take me to Disneyland. The odds are good, 85% guys. I mean, it's good, right? I'm gonna look good. Jeff Romstead took me to Disneyland, 1992. It's been an e-ticket ride ever since, but. And I love you. Many of you guys have kind of heard, I have a strong personality. He's been my rock and been able to calm me down when I wanted to go some South Sac ghetto. And I love you and I appreciate you. And you know, sometimes we think about like, if I had any other place I'd rather be, where would I be? And it would still be. As you can see, and there is a stereotype, you know, Latinos, we do it up big and we're all about family. All this side of the table, those are mine. I have my two sons by birth, Mateo and Dominic, that are there. And then I have several of my boys by love. I have my nephew, Alex, who I got when he was 13. My boy, David, Angelo, and Chomis, my son that I had the last 3 or 4 years. I'm very, very fortunate because family is what stabilizes us and keeps us together. And when I talk about that, I look at also people that are around me. And I thought about folks that grew up in neighborhoods that weren't the best. And what was the common denominator? And I look at Chief Hahn, and I look at Under Sheriff Manis, and I look at Anthony, and Leland, and a lot of other folks. And that's what the common denominator is. It's family. But it doesn't have to be by blood, because my second family is this office. And I'm very grateful. Been here since 1983. That's almost 2/3 of my life in this office as an investigative intern and moving on up. And I'm very, very grateful for those folks that helped me being placed in this position today. Jan Scully and Cindy Besmer, who believed in me even after several closed door meetings and gave me the opportunity to be one. Steve Harrell, my best friend, who took care of me, supported me, and mentored me. Karen Maxwell, who was probably one of my strongest advocates, and very, very appreciative. And then I have what I call, and keep it out of the gutter, my 2 a.m. friends. And I call them that because those are the friends that you can call. And you know that even if you call them at 2 a.m. in the morning, they'll be there for you. They support you. They stand by you and stand behind you. Like Bobby, like Kevin, like Joy, like Hillary, like Karen. And I'm very fortunate that through this office we're able to have those types of friendships. And last but not least, I really believe that this is really as a result of my team, because one single person doesn't do it all. It's our team and our CGR unit, my staff, and my community prosecution unit who work together to make things happen because we believe that it's the right thing to do with respect to representing our office. And I'm going to end it in this, and I didn't plan on it, but I will because I think it's really, really important. And most of you know I'm retiring in about 14 weeks. So that's, pretty quick. But I remember when I was young, very, very young, probably around I was 9, and my dad had a plaque, and it was on his coffee table, and he probably doesn't even remember it, but it was a plaque and it had a saying from Emiliano Zapata, and he was a Mexican revolutionary. And it said, "I'd rather die standing than continue to live at my knees." And when I was young, I used to think like, what the heck does that mean? I want to die. I mean, why is this on, what does this mean? But as I got older, I saw what that meant. And I kept that in mind. and it's important for all of us, is that you have to stand and fight for different things, different people, and different reasons, even when it's not comfortable. You owe it. You owe it to someone who helped get you here. Everybody sitting here is here because someone helped you get here. And it's a responsibility we should not take lightly. I'm proud of this office, proud of all of these lawyers who crossed and went through that fence every damn day this last month, representing victims and witnesses to make sure that the right thing happened, standing up for the right thing, and making sure that we do it, not just for victims and witnesses, but for people we work with and people we work for. And so with all that being said, it's such an honor. I thank you all for being here, and deuces.